Right. Can you hear me, guys? Am I audible? Right. Good evening, Aditi. Good evening, Kaveri. Good evening, Ram Pandey. Good evening, Amrita. Right. So let's get started. Today we are going to discuss about storage. That too, block storage. Yes. Good evening, Kishore. How many types of storages we have? Do you have any idea? Good evening, Jyoti. How many types of storages we have? Usually, from where you are going to store the data? 3 types. What are they? Very good. What are they? File, database. We have 3 types. That is right answer. File storage, block storage, object storage. How many types of storages we have? File storage, block storage, and object storage. So we don't have much time now, so that's why I'm unable to explain like more. With the help of an image, easily you are going to understand, no issues. Okay. So let's see, guys, here. So first, block storage. Okay. So using this diagram, easily you are going to understand the differences between the main differences between block storage, file storage, and object storage, right? So where we are going to install the operating system? Always into our hard disk. That's it now. In our laptop, we have hard disk. With the help of that hard disk, we are going to store the operating system. We are going to install the operating system, right? So we are going to connect this hard disk into our laptop. Inside the hard disk, we are going to install the operating system. So always operating system, we are going to install it into block storage. Got it, guys? Always we are going to install the operating system where? Into block storage, right? Cost wise, so you know hard disk price, right? Yes, no. So especially nowadays, it's very expensive, right? So if you need to purchase 1 TB hard disk, that too especially SSD, right? SSD, RAM, cache, right? Okay. So in cache, we are not going to store, and RAM also we are not going to store directly. Okay, system it will store. We are talking about secondary storage devices. So RAM is a primary, right? Right? Okay. So block storage. So block storage means hard disk. Hard disk is a best example for block storage. We are going to store the data into the blocks. Okay. So if you need to purchase 1 TB SSD, nowadays we have like 6,000, 7,000 rupees like that. Okay. So it's a performance wise. Flight means compared to file storage, object storage, good performance we are going to get. We have flight, right? Flight means speed. Read and write IOPS operations, it is going to perform quickly, right? Okay. So dedicated network. So fiber channel 10 GB like this we can write. So we have storage cloud. How we are trying to accessing the storage cloud means with the help of network only, but no need to bother about this point for especially block storage. So imagine we have laptop. In our laptop, we have hard disk, that is block storage, simple. So inside our hard disk, we can install the operating system. We can store the databases. Means our data we can store into our hard disk, right? So scalability, is it possible, guys? We have 1 TB hard disk. Can we increase this 1 TB as a 2 TB? Is it possible? Yes. In my laptop, I have 1 TB hard disk. Can we increase the size 1 TB to 2 TB directly? It's not possible, right? There is no scale. You have to purchase another hard disk. You have to purchase one more hard disk, right? So same hard disk we are unable to increase, right? Coming to AWS, same hard disk we can increase. I'll tell you, don't worry. So I hope you got it right about block storage. Coming to file storage, best example you can say share folder. In Windows we have share folder, right? Yes, no. In Windows we have share folder. For example, I need to share the data in between my employees into my organization, right? So maybe if you're using Windows operating system, so we are going to use share folder, right? With the help of share folder, we can share the data from one machine to another machine through network. That is a best example for file storage. Got it, guys? That is a best example for file storage. Coming to Linux, we have NFS, network file system. If you need to share the data between Linux and Windows, we have a service called Samba. With the help of Samba server, we can share the data between Linux and Windows. I hope you got it, guys. Exactly what is file storage. So best example. So you know very well, right? In Windows, we are going to create the share folder. With the help of share folder, we are going to share the data between the host. So that is best example. Okay. So through LAN itself only, we are going to share the data. Sharing user data, web content, etc. Yes, we can increase the size of that particular folder. We can increase the size of that particular folder. Scalability we have, but it's not that much of effective scalability, right? It's depend on your hard disk only, right? So you are going to deploy this share folder into your laptop itself only, right? It's depend on your hard disk only. Your share folder size we are going to get. Yes, no. For example, I'm having 1 TB hard disk. Now I'm trying to creating 10 GB share folder. I can increase 10 GB to 20 GB, 20 GB to 30 GB, but more than 1 TB I'm unable to increase, right? So I hope you're clear, guys. So with the help of share folder, how we are trying to sharing the data. So that is called file storage. We are going to store the files into the share folder. We are going to share the data between the host. Object storage. So which one is the best example? Very good, Aditi. So Google Drive is a best example. Object storage, right? So if you want to can save your objects. Objects means files, folders, MP3 files, video files, image files, you can say. So we are going to store into Google Drive, right? So by default, we are going to get 15 GB, right? The 15 GB if it is full, so we can purchase the object storage. They are going to increase, we have to pay. So 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 50, like this, we can scale according to our requirement, according to our data, right? So I hope you got it, guys. How many types of storages we have? Block storage, file storage, object storage. Can we install the operating system into file storage? Can we install the operating system into the share folder? Is it possible, guys? Yes. Can we install the operating system into file storage? Is it possible? Can we install the operating system into share folder? Yes, guys. कर सकते हो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम फोल्डर पे इंस्टॉलेशन कर सकते हो? No, it's not possible. We are unable to install the operating system into share folder. Can we install the operating system into Google Drive? Is it possible? Yes, guys. Can we install the operating system into the Google Drive? No, it's not possible, right? So if you need to install the operating system, always you should have the block storage. Then only we are going to install. So we are unable to install the operating system into the file storage. We are unable to install the operating system into the object storage, right? But we can save our data. We can save our objects here into file storage as well as object storage. Okay. So got it, guys? So now I am going to teach about block storage. So file storage we doesn't have into our course content. So in AWS we have one file storage called EFS, Elastic File System, right? So EFS I'm not going to teach you, but object storage I will teach you. In AWS we have S3. S3 bucket, right? S3 service. S3 is object storage. After completing the EBS, then I'm going to start object storage S3. We'll discuss S3 maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So clear, guys? Okay. So coming to block storage. Block storage means hard disk. Block storage means hard disk. So how you are going to store the data into the block storage? Do you have any idea? How you are going to store the data into the block storage, into your hard disk? Why we are calling block storage? In the name itself only we are saying that is block storage, right? So this is our hard disk, right? So this is our hard disk, HDD, hard disk drive. Okay. So inside this hard disk, how we are going to store the data? We are going to store the data into chunks, right? So small blocks we have, small blocks. So we are going to store the data into blocks. So that's why we are calling block storage. Small blocks it will create, right? So inside this block we are going to store. So by default block size is 4 KB. Sorry guys, not 4 MB. Right? So by default block size is a 4 MB. So we are going to store the data. For example, if you are having one file with 10 MB, so here it is going to divide the multiple parts. It is going to store the 10 MB data into those multiple chunks. So that's why we are calling block storage. That's why we are calling block storage. We are going to store the data into the blocks. So we are going to call chunks. So with the help of chunks, we are going to store the data. So I hope you're clear. So this is our general hard disk. Usually inside our laptop we have. So inside the laptop we have secondary storage device. In that secondary storage device, we are going to store our operating system as well as our objects, both. So only we can install the operating system into the hard disk, block storage itself only. We are unable to install the operating system into the object storage as well as into file storage. Storage, object storage, it's useful for us to store our data, means files and directories, files, folders, then movies, etc. We can store MP3 files, etc. So I hope you got it, right? Okay. So coming to AWS. So in AWS, EC2 is a computer, right? Yes, no. EC2 is a computer. EC2 instance is a computer. So EC2 instance having one hard disk that is called EBS, elastic block storage. So our hard disk, for example, assume this is 1 TB hard disk. 1 TB hard disk. Okay. So 1 TB means 1 TB only. We are unable to increase 1 TB to 2 TB here. There is no elasticity. Got it, guys? But coming to AWS, EC2 instance having EBS volume. EBS means elastic block storage. In the name itself only, we are saying elasticity. According to our requirement, we can increase. For example, while you try to launching the instance at the time, if you are providing like 10 GB storage, maybe in future you can increase 10 to 20 GB storage. So 20 to 30 GB, 30 to 40. So that is called elasticity. So we can increase the storage space with the help of EBS volume. With the help of EBS volume. I hope you got it, guys. So let's see here. Coming to EC2. EC2 is our computer machine, virtual machine, right? So EC2 having two different types of storages. One is EBS, another one is instance store block. So instance store block, nowadays no one they're using. There's a very old one, right? So elastic block storage, most of the elastic block storage only. So EBS volume only they're using. Right, guys? So what is EBS? Elastic block storage, full form. Exactly, Aditi. EBS is a hard disk of our EC2 instance. Without hard disk, can we install the operating system? No, right? Like the same way, if you're having operating system means into your EC2 instance, so you have the block storage, means our hard disk. So what is hard disk? EBS is a hard disk into EC2, right? So elastic block storage is a network attached virtual device. Network attached virtual device. It's a persistence. Persistence means even if you reboot the operating system, you are not going to lose the data. Even you reboot the EC2 instance, you are not going to lose your data. That is called persistence, right? Still data present. Very good, right? So it's not direct attached storage, right? For example, this is our laptop. Assume this is EC2 instance or laptop, whatever it may be. Okay. Right? This is EC2 instance. Right? Okay. So now, if you need to install the operating system, while you are trying to launching the EC2 instance, at the time it will ask to us to attach the EBS volume. Okay. So usually we have one pull. Okay, into network. We have one pull, EBS pull. Okay. So like this EBS volumes we have. Okay. So like this EBS volumes we have. We have one pull into network. EBS pull we have. I said the storage pull. Did you remember? While we are discussing about characteristics of cloud computing, at the time I have given the information about storage pull, right? Yes, no. Like the same way we have EBS volume pull, right? So those both, this mission and the EBS volume pull, both into the same network. Means both it should into the same availability zone, remember. Okay? Both EBS volume and your EC2 instance, both into the same availability zone. Using network or internet, whatever it may be, we are going to connect this EBS volume into our EC2 instance. I hope you got it. Right. So we are going to store the operating system. We are going to store the data into the EBS volume. So according to your requirement, for example, while I'm trying system by default, Windows it will take 40, I think. Linux it will take 8 GB. Okay, I'll show you. Don't worry, practically. Okay, so Linux it will show you 8 GB. 8 GB by default it will take. Windows I think 40 GB. Right? I hope you got it, guys. So this EBS volume we are going to get through network itself only. It's not going to attach directly into on top of the motherboard like our hard disk. Our hard disk in our laptop we are going to attach on top of the motherboard directly, right? But EBS volume, it's not like this. We are going to connect EBS volume through network itself only. But even though we have the good performance, guys, because they are going to use like very huge bandwidth network here to connect the EBS volume to the EC2 instance. So that's why we doesn't have any kind of performance issues here, right? Okay, so let's see here. Coming to instant store block. This is old, guys. This is old type instant store block. So instant store backed EC2 is a virtual hard disk. Same how we have the EC2, like the same way. It will attach to EC2 directly, like our hard disk. How we are trying to attaching our hard disk into our laptop directly, like the same way. So we doesn't have much capacity. It will support only till 10 GB. It will support till 10 GB, and that too this is ephemeral storage, means non-persistence. Clear, guys? Ephemeral storage means it's a non-persistence volume. So that's why nowadays no one they're using, right? So let's see here. So this is, what is this? What is this, guys? Instant store. So our hard disk directly be connected into EC2. Like in our laptop, how we are connecting the hard disk into motherboard, like the same way. Store. Instant store, nowadays no one they're using. Okay, so coming to EBS. So EBS volume pool we are going to connect the EBS volume through network. EBS volume pool we are going to connect the EBS volume through network, right, guys? So root user EBS volume maximum you are going to get like this name, DEV SDA1. So DEV SDA1, If you have the good knowledge in Linux, especially in disk management, then you are going to understand what is this DEV-SDA1. This is our hard disk name in Linux. So AWS, not only AWS, many clouds, they got designed based on Linux only. Especially AWS, it's based on Linux only. So few Linux terminology we can find here. In Linux, we are going to get the hard disk name like that only. SDA, SDA1, SDA, SDB, SDC like that. Right? One means partition. SDA means hard disk. I hope you got it. By default, root volume name, we have DEV SDA1. So in this DEV SDA1 itself only, we are going to install the operating system. I hope you got it, guys. EBS, we are going to attach through network. EBS, we are going to attach through network. So those are like few interview point of questions. EBS is a block storage. EBS is a unformatted volume we can attach to EC2 instance. So EBS we can attach through AWS network like virtual device, right? So with the help of network only we are going to attach the EBS volume, right? So let's see, guys, here. Can we attach one EBS volume for multiple instances? Is it possible? Guys, this is old notes. This is old notes. One EBS volume can attach with only one single instance, like, right? Yes, no. Before like that only we have. But now the rules and regulations had got changed. We can attach one EBS volume for multiple instances, but you should have the T3 micro instance, then only it will possible. If we having T2 micro, it was possible. So Nitro hypervisor, we discuss about the Zen hypervisor and Nitro hypervisor, right? While we are try to executing the EC2 instance, if you are using T3 micro, type T3 micro only, na? So T3 micro by default having Nitro hypervisor. Okay, T3 micro by default it having Nitro hypervisor. So Nitro hypervisor only it will support to attach one EBS volume for multiple instances. So you should know like little bit about Linux, not little bit. You should know thoroughly about Linux. Then only you are going to understand how we are going to attach one EBS volume Linux instances. Okay, so you can say this is little bit old, guys. Okay, before we have like that only. So we are going to attach one EBS volume for only one instance. But nowadays the rules and regulations have got changed. We can attach one EBS volume for multiple instances, right? Okay, so EBS volume and EC2 instance both should into the same availability zone. I said right. So EBS volume and then our EC2 instance both into the same availability zone. Then only we can attach. For example, EC2 instance into US East 1, EBS volume into US East 2, then we are unable to attach. We are unable to attach. The EBS volume and EC2 instance both into the same availability zone, then only we can attach. Otherwise, it's not possible. It's not possible. I hope you got it, guys. Right. So next, EBS volume, data it, replicate into the same availability zone itself, because we have like EC2 instance and EBS volume both into the same availability zone. So that's why, so data it is going to replicate into the same availability zone. How many volumes can I attach to an EC2 instance? Yes, guys. Each account will be limited to 20 EBS volumes. Got it, guys? Each account, it will limited to 20 EBS volumes, free tier account, right? For example, if we have no additional network interface, what is network interface? Yes, guys, what is network interface? Tell me. Amrita, what is network interface? I have given very clear information about networking, right? NIC, network interface card. No additional network interface attachment on an EBS only instance, right? You can attach up to 27 EBS volumes by default. If we having one additional network interface, if we having one additional NIC card, right, network interface on the instance with 2 NVMe we can attach. Actually, those all like very old. We need to check. I will tell you how to check. Don't worry. Okay. We have a service called um, resources and tags. There we can find. So you can attach 24 EBS volumes to it. Got it, guys? Maximum to maximum 40 EBS volume. That too, it's possible with whom? Linux instance. But it's not sure. We can, maybe we are unable to attach. Got it, guys? I hope you're clear. So let's see here. Coming to EBS types. Okay. So coming to EBS types, three types we have. Okay. So we have three types of EBS volumes. One is SSD, another one is HDD, and previous generation or magnetic standard, whatever if you want you can say. SSD, HDD, magnetic standard or previous generation. Okay. How many types of EBS volumes we have? Three types of EBS volumes we have. How many types of EBS volumes we have? Three types of EBS volumes we have. Don't say five types and don't say two types like that. Okay. So we have three types of EBS volumes. One is SSD, HDD, then previous generation or magnetic standard. So SSD, HDD, previous generation or magnetic standard, this is little bit old. This is little bit old. Coming to SSD, it's a bootable volume. Bootable means we can install the system. HDD, non-bootable volume. Non-bootable volume means we are unable to install the operating system into this hard disk. Again, previous generation or magnetic standard. This is also bootable. We can install the operating system into magnetic standard or previous generation. So, in how many volumes it will support to install the operating system? Only two. One is SSD, another one is previous generation. We are unable to install the operating system into HDD. So HDD, where we are going to use? To store the huge data, we are going to use HDD. I hope you got it, guys. To store the objects, maybe you have huge data. So you are trying to storing like every day, you are trying to accessing the data. So IOPS actions you are performing like every day. So at the time we are going to use HDD. I hope you got it, guys. Again, having two more types. General purpose SSD, provision IOPS SSD. General purpose, provision IOPS SSD, right? I'll tell you what is IOPS and everything, don't worry. IOPS, throughput, and latency, those three terminologies we should know. I'll tell you, give me some time. So, general purpose SSD. General purpose SSD having two API names, GP2, GP3. Those all API names, guys, okay? We have GP1 also. Nowadays, no one they are using GP1. In initial days, very initial days, before 10 years like that, we have GP1. So, we doesn't have GP1 nowadays. No one they are using. So, we have GP2 and GP3. GP means general purpose. That's it. General purpose version 2, general purpose version 3. So what we have the drawbacks into general purpose version 2, they overcome those drawbacks and they introduced to us GP3. That's it. Slightly we have the differences. Don't worry. So that's a general purpose SSD. So provisioned IOPS SSD. Provisioned IOPS SSD. So in provisioned IOPS also we have two API names. One is IO1 and IO2. Got it, guys? IO1, IO2. So provision IOPS. Coming to HDD, we have two types. One is throughput optimized and then cold HDD. So in the name itself only throughput optimized, right? I'll tell you what is IOPS, what is throughput, don't worry, okay? So ST1, SC1. ST1, SC1. Clear, guys? But previous generation magnetic standard doesn't have any type. So it's a old hard disk, means it's a old EBS volume. Nowadays no one they are using. Maximum people they are going to use GP2 and GP3 only for free tier. For free tier, GP2 and GP3 only. So if you are trying to providing like I throughput, they will charge. We are going to get charged and we have to pay the money. Got it, guys? I hope you're clear. How many types of SSDs we have? Sorry, how many types of EBS volumes we have? So how many types of EBS volumes we have? Three types. First one, SSD, to install the operating system. HDD, to store the data. Again, magnetic standard are general purpose. Sorry, magnetic standard are, what is that one more, previous generation, right? So previous generation to install the operating system. Okay, very good. So same thing we have here. So SSD having two types, general purpose SSD, GP2 and GP3, provision IOPS SSD volume, and IO1, IO2, and then throughput optimized HDD, cold optimized, and previous generation are magnetic standard. So clear? I hope you got it about TBS volumes. Let's see here. So let's see guys here. So volume type, general purpose SSD. API names. I said API name, right? GP2 and GP3. So description, where we are going to use general purpose SSD. Balanced price and performance for a wide varied transactional and then workload. So generally, for example, you can say uh, you are a developer, so you are trying to developing the application, right? And then you are going to store the data into your hard disk. Then you are trying to retrieving the data from your hard disk sometimes. So general purpose, you are going to use this one. Okay. So for general purpose, like decent performance, we are going to get from this one. So we have two API names, GP2 and GP3. Most workload use cases, general purpose only. Maybe if you want to can store your movies, like if you want to can watch the movies, etc., we can do. Okay. So minimum size 1 GB to 16 TB. Minimum 1 GB, maximum 16 TB. Right. So 1 GB to 16 TB. So maximum IOPS. How many IOPS it is going to provide? 16,000 IOPS it will provide maximum. I'll tell you what is IOPS, don't worry. Yes, it is a boot volume, right? Burst means GP2 having burst, GP3 doesn't have. Bursting means we are going to get some performance issue if you are like try to like storing the like huge volume. So, but GP having the good performance, we are not going to get any kind of issues. So I hope you got it, guys. Yes, no. About general purpose SSD. So coming to IOPS, provisioned IOPS, right? So critical applications which can need high performance. Okay. So critical applications means it may be like hospital kind of applications, critical applications we have, right? So if you need to store the critical applications, we are going to use provision IOPS. IO1, IO2. Example, I hope you got it right. Large database workload it will manage. If you need to store the large database workload, if you need to manage, so we are going to use provisioned IOPS. You can say helpline means huge data we are going to get, right? Big data. We are going to store the big data here in this volume, right? So minimum 4 GB, maximum 16 TB. Maximum 16 TB it will support. Coming to IOPS, see guys, if you go to general purpose, we have 16,000 only IOPS. But here 64,000 IOPS it will support. Means read and write capacity it is going to increase. Got it guys? So read and write capacity, IO actions it is going to increase here. IOPS means IO actions only, I will tell you, okay? So yes, we can install the operating system. There is no bursting. We are going to get the like good performance. We doesn't have any kind of like issue with this IOPS. Bit expensive this one compared to general purpose. Compared to general purpose, it's expensive, right? So coming to optimize, like throughput optimized, right? So it's cheaper because, for example, we have some data, historical data, we need to, right? So, for example, we have old movie songs, we have to maintain just, right? So no one they're using. So you can use this one, throughput optimized, low cost, designed for frequently accessed, frequently, you will try to access the frequently, so throughput, so you can store huge data. See here, clearly is saying like big data, data warehousing, so logs, processing, purpose, they are going to use this one. So big data analyst we have, right? To analyze the data, if you're having huge data, historical data, you need to analyze, you need to process, right? So for that, this is suitable, throughput optimized, right? Minimum 500 GB to 16 TB. Minimum 500 GB to 16 TB. So coming to IOPS, 500 IOPS maximum. That's it. So there is no operating system installation option here. So we have some problem, right? Cold HDD, low cost, designed for less frequent access data. Less frequent means infrequent access data. Okay. So before I said like historical data we have, so just we need to maintain the data. We have very old songs, we have to maintain, just we need to save our songs, that's it. For that we are going to use this one, file servers, right? So minimum 500 GB, maximum 16 TB. IOPS 250, very low IOPS we have, right? So here we are unable to install the operating system. Bursting also, yes we have, right? Next, EBS magnetic HDD means previous generation. So previous generation HDD standard. So workload, just general purpose you can say, but it will support only 1 GB minimum, maximum 1 TB. More than 1 TB don't support. And coming to IOPS also, it's a very low. So 40 to 20. Performance wise, we doesn't have the good performance with the magnetic standard. No one they're using nowadays because it's a very old. I hope you got it, guys. Yes, no? Clear? Right. So now we are going to discuss what is IOPS, what is throughput, what is latency. Okay, you have to know those terminologies, then only you are going to understand the like differences between IOPS and throughput. Why throughput optimized we are using for big data. Let's see, guys, here. For example, okay, already we have hard disk, right? No need to bother. Okay, so now let's see here. This is one hard disk, right? So IO action, right? IO actions. What is IO action? What kind of IO actions we have? Rampande. What kind of input output? That is what IOPS means. IOPS. Input output per second. Full form. Input output per second. IO actions per second. Per second. Okay, what kind of IO actions we have? Huh? What kind of IO actions we have? Read action, write action, delete action. That's it now. Read action. Right, very good, Ram. So read action, write action, and delete action. Okay? Yes, no. IO actions. Read, write, and then delete. Okay. So delete. For example, exactly what is IOPS means? Per second. How much means per second read data? Per second write data into the hard disk. Per second delete data. I hope you got it, guys. Clear? Per second read data, per second write data, per second delete data from the hard disk. That is called IOPS. Clear now? Yes, no? Per second read data, per second write data, per second delete data. So clear? IOPS means input output per second. Input output actions per second. What kind of input output actions we have? Read, write. Clear? Got it, guys? Per second read data, per second write data, per second delete data, that is called IOPS, right? So clear. If you're increasing the IOPS count, quickly we can read and write the data. But IOPS, it's not for free of cost, guys, remember. Can you hear me? Am I audible? IOPS, it's not for free of cost. Okay. Right? So IOPS, can you hear me? Am I audible? Right. IOPS, it's not for free of cost. We have to pay. So coming to general purpose, maximum how many IOPS it is supporting? 16,000. We have one calculator. Let's see here. I'll show you. With the help of that calculator, we can, because you have to know those all, then only you are going to deploy the proper infrastructure into our organization. अब बिना पता हुए कितने बड़े इतने आईवॉप्स दे दिए, हाँ, इतना लंबा बिल आ जाएगा कंपनी को, बाद में आप जवाब देना पड़ेगा. क्लियर? 1 minute, guys. EBS volume documentation. AWS EBS volume documentation, right? So this is official documentation. So what I'm trying to teaching, I hope you're clear, right? I hope you got it right. So let's see, guys, here. Coming to EBS volumes. One minute. Directly I'll type here EBS volume types like that, okay? Then directly we are going to get that particular URL. Types, okay? Then you're going to get the... you can use ChatGPT, but this is official content, ma. Ram Pandey. This is official documentation. So EBS volume pricing, 30 GB for free of cost, right? If you try to increasing like more than 30 GB for Windows, they will charge. And we'll have IOPS and everything. Let's see here. Here we got the website user interface. It got changed, so that's why I'm having some confusion. See, guys, here how much they try to charging. So pricing. General purpose SSD GP3 storage. Got it now per month. 3000 IOs free. So for GP3, 3000 IOs free. And got it now? So I hope you're clear. So here you'll have, so depend on that IOPS throughput, we are going to get charged. Clear? Calculator also we should have. Types. So they got changed a little bit. See here. IO2, HDD volume. Clear, guys? Same thing only, but user interface a little bit different. That's it. I think this is old document, right? This is old one. See, general purpose, provision IOPS, throughput optimized. Got it now? Same. So durability, 99.8% to 9.9%. Means you can say impossible to get the problem. 99.9. Hardly failure chances, annual failure chances एक साल में 0.1% to 0.2% हो सकता है. It's not sure. Coming to IO2, they are unable to say 100%. You can say 100%, 99.999. So only 0.001% failure chances we have. IO2, IO1, same. I hope you got it right. So got it, guys? Clear? So I hope you clear what is IOPS, right? What is throughput? What is throughput? How much data we are reading and we are writing, we are deleting from the hard disk per second. I hope you clear, guys. Throughput means MB by second, right? IOPS means read action, write action, delete action per second. Throughput means how much data we are reading, how much data we are writing, how much data we are deleting. For example, per second, I am reading 4 MB data. I am writing 4 MB data. I am deleting 4 MB data. That is called throughput. I hope you clear, guys. Difference between IOPS and throughput. Clear? What is latency? Latency means? Yes, guys. Ram Pandey. Very good. Delay? What delay? Delay ठीक है, कौन सा delay हो रहा है? Request and response. Request and response delay time we are going to consider as a latency. Usually you know very well about latency, right? I think most of the people, they are using like wireless headphones, right? Wireless headphones, right? So there we are going to find this terminology, latency. Low latency wireless headphones like that, yes, no? Low latency wireless headphones like this we are going to say, right? So what is that latency? Low latency means, see, for example, we have two different machines into one network. We have two different machines into one network, guys, okay? So now this mission 1, it's try to sending the request to mission 2, okay? It's try to sending the request to mission 2. So the request, it's traveling through network, assume this 1 second. 1 second, okay? The request, it's reached to destination 1 second, right? And then it's try to providing the response. It's try to providing the response, right? So the response also maybe 1 second, below 1 second, we are unable to say. Assume this 1 second it is taking to provide the response to sender. This guy is sending the request it's reached to this mission within a 1 second. This guy is trying to sending the response also it is going to reach to this mission within a 1 second. 1 second plus 1 second, how much? 2 seconds, right? 1 plus 1, 2, right? 2 second latency here. 2 seconds latency here. I hope you got it, guys. Simple. You are from Ram Pandey. You are from? Yes, guys. Nagpur. Very good. Super. Okay. So, Nagpur oranges are very famous, right? Ram Pandey? Nagpur oranges are very famous, huh? Right. Okay. So, You are from Nagpur, right? Assume this, you are coming to Nagpur to Hyderabad. How much time it will take? How much time it will take? Maharashtra, no, right? Nagpur, Pune, right? Everything it belongs to Maharashtra only. How much time? 4 hours it will take, right? Nagpur to Hyderabad. 4 hours only. उतना ही है? नहीं यार, उससे बढ़ के रहता. सी पुणे इधर से कितना लॉन्ग है? 12 घंटे. 12 घंटे के ऊपर लगेगा आने के लिए, राइट? 4 घंटे में कहाँ से आओगे? फ्लाइट में है? फ्लाइट में आओगे 4 घंटे में, राइट? क्योंकि 3 घंटे कैसे भी वहां पे वेट करना पड़ेगा हमको. एक 1 hour ट्रैवलिंग. सो टोटल 4 hours. Minimum it will take 8 to 10 hours, right? Yes, no. By bus, by train, whatever it may be. So, for example, assume 10, 12 भी नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, 8 भी नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, 10 बोल रहा हूँ मैं, राइट? सो आपको 10 घंटे लग रहा है, 10 hours टाइम लग रहा है नागपुर से हैदराबाद आने के लिए. हैदराबाद से फिर नागपुर जा रहे हो आप, कितना टाइम लगेगा? उतना ही टाइम लगेगा, राइट? So while you are trying to traveling from Nagpur to Hyderabad, it's taking 10 hours. Again, if you are trying to traveling from Hyderabad to Nagpur, again it will take 10 hours. 10 plus 10, 20 hours. 20 hours latency. I hope you got it. Right, Aditi. Now you are not thinking like that, right? राइट, ओके ओके. नागपुर 8 hours में आता है ना? ओके ठीक है. 8 8 16, 8 8 16, राइट? Oh, Ram Pandey, you belongs to Nagpur. You don't know how much distance we have between Nagpur and Hyderabad. Huh? Yes, 600 kilometers, more than 600 kilometers like that we have. यहाँ से पुणे भी उतना ही है ना यार. 650 कुछ 550 600 है ना किलोमीटर्स. Okay, no issues. So clear? Yes, no? So I hope exactly what is latency, I hope you clear. Right? Okay, so what is IOPS? Input action, output action per second. Read action per second, write action per second, delete action per second. What is throughput? How much data we are reading per second, how much data we are writing per second, how much data we are deleting per second, that is called throughput. What is latency? What is latency? Request and response time, that is called latency. Request and response time, that is called latency. It may be while you are trying to reading the data, maybe it's try to taking some time, you can say latency. Got it? I am reading the data, so it is taking some time. Maybe it is taking like below 1 second. And while I'm trying to writing the data, it is taking below 1 second. So you can say latency. Okay? Exactly, Maditi. Right? So I was means input output per second. How much data means input action, output actions per second. Read action per second, write action per second, delete action per second. Throughput means how much data we are reading. MB by second. Okay. Right? So, example, 4 MB data we are reading per second. 4 MB data we are writing per second. 4 MB data we are deleting per second. Latency means request and response time. Right? I hope you got it. We are going to consider as a latency. So clear? I hope you got it exactly. What is a EVS volume? So theoretical part also, right? So can we attach one EVS volume? Can we do practical session? Right. So exactly what I am doing. 11 minutes left, right? 11 minutes left. क्या करेंगे बोलो? कल करेंगे. Okay. If you're having any doubts, any questions, please tell me. Okay. Practical we'll do tomorrow, no issues. If you're having any doubts, any questions, please tell me. So tomorrow, first what we are going to do in this is, first we are going to attach one EBS volume. First we'll launch one instance. Then we are going to attach the EBS volume for this instance, right? So I'll use Windows only because you people, you don't know much about Linux, right? Okay. So if you knew Linux also, it's okay. It's not a problem from my side, but you are unable to understand because you have to know the like few Linux commands. I'll try to teach. Don't worry. You have to learn Linux commands. You have to learn Linux. Then only you can survive in real-time environment. Aditi. But you are a developer, right? Few people they will ask. Few people they won't ask. But if you try to working with cloud, if you try to working with see, always if you go to real-time environment, you are going to deploy the applications on top of the Linux servers itself only. So Linux is a minimum requirement. Minimum you should know the like little bit knowledge. So no one they are going to use Windows in real time. I'm unable to understand what you are asking. Pratham Singh. Distro means? Distribute. You are asking about flavor? Which flavor, right? That is what I'm saying. Anything at least you should have the like knowledge in Linux. Anything. It may be Debian, it may be Fedora, whatever it may be. I used to teach. Not I used to teach. I'm teaching Red Hat Linux. I went also. It's okay. It's not a problem. See, you are all developers, right? So you people maybe doesn't require. You are going to write the code. That's it. Okay. But while you are trying to deploying the application at the time we need, because we are going to use the Linux servers only to deploy the application. So that's why. Anything you can learn, Aditi. Any Linux you can learn. So go and talk to the management. Maybe if they're going to start my new Linux batch, you can join. I think it's not a too much cost. आप लोग है ना एक रेस्टोरेंट पे जाके एक दिन जो खाते हैं ना उतना ही पैसा लगेगा अपने लाइनेक्स क्लास के लिए. एक बार मैनेजमेंट सो एक बार मैनेजमेंट से पूछ लो, वो लोग बोल देंगे आई एम गोइंग टू फिनिश 4:30 to 6 o'clock batch maybe on Monday. They will take some time, maybe 1 week like that, and then again they are going to start the session from next week onwards maybe. Then ask them who require, then you can join there. Okay. इतना ज्यादा खर्चा नहीं लगता, आप ही समझ जाओगे. एक बार है ना आपके जो एडमिन से पूछ लो कितना फीस पे करना है बोल के, then you can learn Linux with me only. यूट्यूब से भी देख सकते हो, मगर आपको एक सीक्वेंस ऑर्डर नहीं मिलता है ना. राम पांडे, एक सीक्वेंस ऑर्डर आप यूट्यूब से कितना देख पाओगे यार, बोलो एक बार. तो सिंपल है, राइट. सो हम लोग सब सोचते हैं यूट्यूब से सीखेंगे बोल के. कितने लोग यूट्यूब से सीख रहे बोलो. No. How many of you are learning from YouTube? Tell me. We have everything into YouTube. Why you are joining into Naresh IT? Okay, you are an intelligent guy, so that's why you are learning from YouTube. Huh? Yes, Kishore. In real time, no one they are going to bother about Windows servers. You can ask to Nakaf, you can ask to you management, they will allow you, don't worry. I think it's not a too much fees, don't worry, okay? It's a small amount of the fees only. So it's worthable for you, 100%. Aditi, she's going to pay, okay? That is your problem, okay? Don't involve me, right? How should, like, you have Naresh Shetty website now, right? Naresh Shetty website. Let's see here. Me too, don't know. Aditi, she's asking about reviews, right? Guys, I'm requesting to you people. Usually, I won't because of few things. I have to do some publicity about me, so that's why publicity. जो भी समझो आप directly बोल दे रहा हूँ मैं, right? Okay. नरेश शेट्टी AWS साइट भी है यार, पता नहीं है मेरे को, इतने सारे साइट्स है बोल के. So यहाँ पे दे दो यार कहीं भी, wherever if you want you can. So Naresh IT Amirpet, then select one. Okay. For example, select this one. Right. We have reviews, right? Click reviews. Then provide the reviews here. Got it? यहाँ पे दे सकते हो. यहाँ पे new campus also we have. We can provide the reviews into new campus also. It's not a problem. Here we have reviews, right? Okay. So clear? Revision. Yesterday I said reviews, right? I thought like you were asking about reviews, right? Revision. I got it. Okay, right. Revision. We doesn't have any kind of revisions here, right? So this is a like complimentary course for you, right? Revision तो नहीं होता है यहाँ पे. Yes, Ram Pandey, I got it. मैं सोचा reviews बोल के वो चश्मे का जो है ना नंबर चेंज करना पड़ेगा. I have to change the number for my spectacle. अभी अच्छा दिख रहा है वो. So if I'm like increasing the size, then I can. So for me, 5-star. Thank you very much, Ram Pandey. ऐसे ही बोल दिया यार. हाँ, publicity करना है ना अपना. I have to do my publicity, right? Then only people they are going to know about me. Nakafu? You need interview question. इसमें interview questions क्या दूंगा यार? So this is a very basic, right? Just we are trying to discussing only small things. That's it, okay? So in that, who's going to ask? So if you can read those documents, that's enough. There is no special classes, okay? Everything is important. What we discuss, everything it's important. So for example, coming to EBS volume, they will ask like this questions only. Where we are going to use GP2 and GP3, in which cases we to use provision IOPS, like that only. If you read those documents, that's enough. So try to understand. So this is 20 days course. This is not 2.5 months course. Ram Pandey. 20 days में usually IAM complete नहीं होता है यार मेरा. Got it? So this is 20 days course, right? Usually if you are attending my paid session, I'm unable to complete IAM within a 10 days. If I need to teach IAM, it will take more than 10 days. Then how you are expecting within a 20 days the entire AWS content you are going to get? Try to understand, okay? So that's why I'm unable to provide the like any interview kind of questions here. So actual course duration is 2.5 months, right? AWS course duration is 2.5 months, right? So welcome, Aditi. So AWS course duration is a 2.5 months. Basic questions means what I'm trying to provide in the documents, in that only we have, that's it. Can read those documents, that's it. If I'm trying to provide in the interview point of question means we have huge, like more than 200 questions we have in how to create the VPC, how to launch instance, like that questions only you'll get from the scores, that's it. And for you people, no need to bother. You are all developers, right? No need to bother. They won't ask that much of deeply from AWS. Maybe you are looking for AWS engineer, then they will ask. This is complimentary course for you. Okay. You can mention like I have the AWS knowledge, I have the cloud knowledge, like this you can mention into your resume. Actually, your prime course is a Java and Python only, no? You can mention. I have the knowledge in AWS, like this you can mention. Very good, Amrita. उसको आप हंस रहे हो या रो रहे हो? अमृता, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है वो. I am unable to understand what kind of emoji that is. Huh? खुशी के आंसू है वो, राइट? वो उतना नॉलेज मेरे को, राइट? आई डोंट हैव दैट मच ऑफ नॉलेज, स्पेशली इन शॉर्टिंग. इसीलिए देखो, आप एक लगाए थे, मेरे को एक दिखा था, मैं एक बोला था अभी. हाँ, आप रिवीजन पूछे थे, मैं रिव्यूज बोला था. क्या है, थोड़ा पब्लिसिटी करना है ना, वही है माइंड में, इसलिए. हाँ, यस, नो. अच्छा, ये आंसू अगर आ रहा है वो खुशी के आंसू है. दो दो आंसू आ रहे हैं, मतलब दो आंखों से वो रोने के, मतलब वो कुछ दिक्कत हुआ इसीलिए रो रहा है बोल के. हाँ, उतना है ना अमृता? सो राइट. राम पांडे सही है ना? मैं आपको एडब्ल्यूएस सिखा दूंगा. मैं, मेरे को आप चार्टिंग लैंग्वेज सिखा दो यार. हाँ, वो दिक्कत तो हो रही है चार्टिंग करने के लिए. राइट. Okay. So see, we have 10 minutes time. So if you having any doubts, please, you can ask me about AWS, like that I said. You people, you are asking about different doubts. Huh? So, okay. See you tomorrow. So I hope you're clear. You doesn't have any doubts, right? This is nothing, man. This is very easy. Cloud computing is very easy, because maximum we have the graphical user interface. Maybe if you go to DevOps, those kind of stuff, then you're going to face little bit tough. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye. Take care. Tomorrow we are going to perform practical sessions. We have 4 to 5 practical sessions. First, I'm going to attach EBS volume to the EC2 instance. Then we are going to increase the volume size. Then next one, we are going to remove the EBS volume, means root EBS volume. What we have the operating system, that EBS volume, I'm going to remove from the EC2 instance. The same volume I'm going to connect to another instance. Okay. And then how to get the snapshot, how we need to create our own Amazon image also I will show you. Okay. If you have the time, I will show you how to create our own AMI, Amazon Mission Image. Right? We are utilizing like default AMIs, right? How to create our own AMI also I will show you, don't worry. So clear? See you guys.